It's all come down to this. We've got your match preview for the last match of the regular season, and for all the other games happening at the same time. It's Decision Day. What's going on, 5-Stripe fam? Before we get started, become a member of the notification squad on YouTube by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button, or if you're on Facebook, hit that like and follow button. Decision Day is upon us, my friends, and 22 teams are playing at the same time, and the implications are huge. And of course, the Supporter Shield is on the line, which we're fighting for against the New York Red Bulls up until the last day. But first, let's have a look at the fixtures around the league to see which teams might clinch a playoff spot and how the table looks at the end of the day. I think they'll shake out like this. Between the Los Angeles Galaxy and the Houston Dynamo, I think it's a Los Angeles win. Between Seattle and San Jose, I think it's a Seattle win. Between Sporting Kansas City and LAFC, I think it's a draw. And New England Revolution versus Montreal, also a draw. NYCFC versus Philadelphia Union, I think NYC takes it. Chicago versus DC, DC are on a hot run, so I think DC also takes this. Colorado versus FC Dallas should be able to win this. Vancouver versus Portland Timbers, I think it's a draw. Columbus Crew versus Minnesota United, I think Minnesota United take a win. And the big one that we're all looking at, New York Red Bulls versus Orlando City, I don't think Orlando City are going to do us any favors, and so Red Bulls will take this with a win. So that means LA Galaxy make the playoffs out west, and this is how the East shakes out in my opinion. Same as it is now, Columbus just hang on onto their playoff spot. Let's finally get into the match preview of the biggest game in Atlanta United's history. We play Toronto FC 4:30 Sunday at BMO Field, and we've drawn them 2-2 every single time. And even though they sit 9th and are eliminated from the playoffs, they will no doubt give us a hard time. Especially with their single season points record at stake, they may have something to play for in playing spoiler. At 69 points, we are level on the record they set last year. They probably won't take too kindly to us doing that on their home turf at BMO Field. Although motivation isn't just on their side, we have a Supporter Shield to win, and we need to avenge them getting that points record with that Jovinko free kick last year at the Benz. So here's the deal. Atlanta United clinches the Supporter Shield Sunday with a win and a New York Red Bulls loss, or a draw and a Red Bulls draw. Or if the Red Bulls draw with less than 8 goals scored and an Atlanta loss by only 1 goal, in this scenario, Atlanta would beat the Red Bulls based on the third tiebreaker, goals scored. And clinching the Shield means Atlanta would lock up the #1 overall seed in the playoffs, which would guarantee home field advantage throughout the postseason, meaning hosting the second leg of both the conference semifinal and final matchups, as well as hosting an MLS Cup final in Mercedes-Benz Stadium if they are to advance to each round. And moving on to their statistical leaders, Jovinko leads their team with 12 goals and Jonathan Osorio has 10. Jovinko also leads their team with 6 assists and Osorio with 5. And on to the injury report. Tito Villalba returned to full training with the team, and he and Romario Williams are available for selection. Miggy is week to week still, but trained with the coach before training started with the rest of the team. Miggy and Brandon Vasquez are not available to be selected. For Toronto, striker Jozy Altidore will miss the last match, and they're missing Victor Vasquez, a key playmaker for them as well. Now getting into the predicted formation, I think it's going to be a similar 4-3-3 formation that we saw on Sunday against the Chicago Fire, but I think there's going to be a little bit of a difference in the personnel. Guzan, of course, is going to be between the sticks. Escobar, the man of the match against the Fire, stays as a right back. Parkey, LGP, and Bello comes in as the left back over McCann. And I think that's something that we've wanted to see last match, but now he will have a full week of rest so that he will be raring to go against Toronto. Now coming in the midfield will be Lorenowitz in his customary number 6 spot. Nagbe and Remedi will round out the midfield trio. Julian Gressel and Ezekiel Barco come in as the wingers, and I think they'll have a much better game than they had against the Fire. And Joseph Martinez, of course, up top, and hopefully he gets another goal or two to extend that lead of the MLS single season goal record. So against Toronto FC, I think Atlanta will look to really not give away any cheap fouls that are anything close to our box, so that Jovinko can't put anything close in. But for us, I think we will need to be much more clinical than we were Sunday against the Fire. I think if Ezekiel Barco and Darlington Nagbe can dribble their way into Toronto FC's box or dangerous areas, we can force some individual errors from Toronto's back line. And if we continue to create a bunch of scoring chances, I think we'll be much more clinical this week with a lot more to play for and at stake. So what's my predicted scoreline? I think it's a 2-1 win, and that means it's the first trophy in Atlanta United history. And wouldn't it be so sweet to do it against Toronto FC at their home turf? Vegas reportedly gives Atlanta an implied probability of 54.3% to beat Toronto, and a 20.3% chance of New York Red Bulls losing or drawing. So what's your predicted scoreline? Let us know in the comments below. So that's our match preview for Decision Day 2018. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, smash that like button, and share this video because it really does help us a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.